Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 68th edition to DRW Radio. Today I have a special guest. I have Torrance here, a former world champion, former tag team champion. He's one of the four men in the Fatal 4-Way at Beer Bash for the Elite World Heavyweight title. Torrance, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Torrance, you and Chris Zero are former tag team champions. You guys were an off-and-on tag team for 3 to 4 years. You started in DRW kind of on a rocky start, and then you became one of the hottest commodities, and now, March 1st, you have the opportunity of a lifetime to be the man in DRW. How does that make you feel?
I feel like it's a long time coming to finally get a chance to be the guy that everybody, looks up to, and it just feels like it's about time. It's my turn, basically. Everybody else has had a turn. It's my shot.
Well, Torrance, you are one of the four men in the Fatal 4-Way, so I'm going to ask you a few questions on some people and how you feel about them. First off, how do you feel about the former Maverick organization leader, Chris Knox?
Man, Knox and I go back a long way. I feel like him coming back is a good thing to DRW. He's very marketable. He's very understanding of what's been going on lately. I feel like Knox is the kind of guy that you would want on a roster, regardless of what position he's in. He's the guy you want on your roster to carry your company into the future.
What are your thoughts on Chris Knox winning the Extreme Rumble?
Well, my thoughts on Chris Knox winning the Extreme Rumble is he was the most determined to win it. Like, out of all the people that promoted him, there was some very, very good promos. He was one of the ones that was really, really determined to win it. I felt like it was his turn to win. He had the best promo out of everybody. He took it. He took the ball and ran with it.
Torrance, you had one of the best years in your career, in my opinion, that I've seen. You were a world champion. You were a damn good world champion. You were a tag team champion. Hell, you won the once-in-a-lifetime briefcase. Yes, you lost it. But now you have a shot at the Elite World Heavyweight title. I mean, it seems like every time you get knocked back a few steps, you jump ahead of everybody again. And, Chris Zero said in his promo that, you and him are really good friends, and he does not mind, you two squaring off again. And what are your thoughts on Chris Zero and, the Fatal 4-Way?
My thoughts on Chris Zero and the Fatal 4-Way is that the championship is going to be, I believe that the championship decision is going to come down to me and Zero. It's going to be a knockout dragon fight, and as long as Chris Zero or myself win or retain the Elite World Heavyweight title, then I feel like the belt's going to stay in the Bullet Club for a very long time. I feel like me and Zero, we could put our friendship and our differences aside, and we could put our friendship aside for at least one night and fight out and battle it. Every time we step in the ring together, magic between me and him. It's different. It's a non-hated feud. Our feud's well known with everybody. There's just non-hatred between me and him, and he's like my brother. I mean, brother from another mother, basically.
Well, March 1st is Beer Bash. It is going to be a terrific Fatal 4-Way match with Tyler H., Torrance Banks, Chris Zero, and Mark Jacobs. Mark Jacobs kind of spoiling a retirement. Doesn't really surprise any of us. Tyler H., he hasn't really been on his rocker at all. And honestly, the only epic part of the match is technically Torrance and Chris Zero, because I feel like those two are really going to tear the house down. Onward, you had a terrific ambulance match versus Susie Spitz. I mean, you lost the match, whatever. Susie Spitz has a world title shot against Alex Fame at Beer Bash. How do you feel about Susie Spitz and her chances of winning the world title?
her chances of winning the world title, I feel like she's going to win the world championship. She's going to win it. DMG, as you know, DMG's has been a major champion before DRW. So Susie's basically going for history again. Like, history will be rewritten again if Susie Spitz wins the championship, because Susie Spitz will be only the second woman in DRW history
to ever hold a major title. To ever hold a major title in DRW.
DMG did.
Yeah, I know. She'd be the second woman to ever hold a major title in DRW.
Yeah, that's what I meant by history to be rewritten.
Yeah. You know, we talk about Susie Spitz, and we're going to talk about something now that you're very synonymous for, I guess. How do you feel about the Divas, or not Divas, how do you feel about the women's division?
Oh my God. I knew somebody was going to ask me about that.
Yeah, come on to Chris Zero's show. It's going to be asked.
The women's division. I feel like the women's division is starting to become a huge, huge success. They're getting featured on pay-per-view cards and cards for SmackDown, and now they have their own show Takedown and their very own pay-per-view. I feel like it's about time that they've gotten their success, and it's about time that they've gotten what they deserve. They worked hard for it. It's their turn. They're gonna show that the women are not people to take lightly.
All right. Well, also March 1st at Beer Bash, there's gonna be a fatal 4-way to determine the second out of 3 men that will be fighting for the world title at Dark Mania. We already know Chris Knox has solidified himself in the main event at Dark Mania. Now there's gonna be a fatal 4-way for the second guy to be in Dark Mania's main event. It is going to be Adam Rush versus Josh Knight. I actually need to go look back at the card because I totally forgot the other two. It's pretty bad. It's my own show and I forget. Botch.
I think you added DMG in there.
Yeah, it's Adam Rush versus Josh Knight versus DMG.
I think Firestar.
No, it's not Firestar. Why would I put Firestar in the Fatal 4-Way? I would never do that.
I don't know. Well, then somebody's in there. You were going to originally put me in there, but you brought me to the main event and switched it.
Yeah, you were in the Fatal 4-Way until you...
Why don't we just, make an announcement and throw somebody in there who's deserving of a title shot?
Because there's somebody in there. I just don't... I'm going to look at it right now, but my computer's being kind of slow.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Don't judge me.
I'm not.
But, what are your feelings on Josh Knight?
You really gotta ask me.
Hey, we're going all out.
You know the history between Josh Knight and myself. You know that history more than anybody. The history between me and the Knight family, in its own right, is nothing but a blood feud between me and Knight. If me and Knight had a chance to square off one more time, I would do it. I would square off with Josh Knight one last time.
What are your feelings?
One last time, me and Knight.
What are your feelings on what are your feelings on Adam Rush and his epic return at the Extreme Rumble after Alex Fame hit the curb stomp on Mark Jacobs to win the title? Then Adam Rush would come out and say, "Let me show you how it's done." Spinning back kick to the ribs and then curb stomp on the title. Now that he's in the Fatal 4-Way for a shot at the World Heavyweight title, what are your feelings on Adam Rush's epic return, his chances of winning, and just how you feel about him in general?
The game changer. Once again, the game changer strikes back. I feel like welcome back. Adam Rush is in order. So, Adam Rush, if you are listening to this, welcome back. I hope you stay for the longer this time, buddy. I mean, Rush and I, there's no hatred there between me and him. I mean, there's also no love lost between me and him. Me and him I've made a lot of enemies in the past with other people, with other superstars, and Rush was one of those guys that was a friend, but then became an enemy. And with me and Rush, I respect the guy. I do. I respect him, but the question is, what has he done for me lately? He's done nothing for me lately, so I don't know how to feel towards the Game Changer.
Next question. What are your thoughts on... Oh, you know where this is going. But what are your thoughts on DMG?
Oh, boy. DMG, my friend, my cohort, she's cool people, you know. She's pretty good. She's very respectful. She's a Hall of Famer. I wouldn't mind stepping in the ring with her. I know she wouldn't mind slapping me down a peg or two. Hey, I respect her. Me and her have history, so I respect her. She's respectable in my book.
You know, everybody has a lot of history with almost everybody on the roster. You know, you look towards the new generation like Warlord Victor, J.M. Domingo, Michael Wolf, and all of them. Who do you see 1 year from now as the Elite World Heavyweight Champion and the World Heavyweight Champion?
Elite World Heavyweight Champion, I have to say either Domingo or Victor. If Victor can keep his promos up to where they're like pipe bomb level and like Jam Punk, I see Victor becoming Elite World Champion, and I have to say the women are going to step up again this coming year. So I gotta say either Susie Spitz will get another run at the belt, or gotta say JM Domingo. I gotta say Domingo's gonna either be, or maybe I may be wrong and they'll be reversed. I'm not sure, but I think the women are good. I think another woman's gonna break out of the, you know.
I think 1 year from now, I think Nate Faber would be the world champion, and I think Eric Draven would either be the Elite World Heavyweight Champion or Warlord Victor. I see Domingo having the world title a few times in 2015 into 2016. I also see a possible return from He-Man. Maybe he gets the world title a few times. Susie Spitz, I think she's going to have a very long run if she beats Fame, and that's a big if. But at Dark Mania, I honestly see maybe Chris Knox may be world champion next year. I mean, he's got his chance at Dark Mania to win the belt, so... Speaking of that, at Beer Bash, Chris Knox will be in a battle of respect versus Messiah, or Macias, whatever the fuck he's going by now. What are your thoughts on Messiah / Macias?
Messiah / Macias, I feel like the one time me and him we were supposed to battle, he ducked me. And I felt like I lost a little bit of respect towards Macias, actually. Macias or Messiah or whatever he calls himself nowadays. I feel like I've lost just a tiny bit of respect. The respect's still there, but it's just not as higher up as like a Chris Zero or an Alex Fame or DMG respect, you know?
No, I feel you there. I barely like the guy. But, oh, by the way, I just looked at the Beer Bash card. It was only a triple threat match. It's Rush versus Knight versus DMG. So we were right. Yeah. I knew there wasn't a fatal four-way. But, yeah, at Beer Bash, Chris Knox will battle Messiah. One of your good buddies, Jay Styles, he's in a Russian House of Horrors match against GVD. GVD returned at the Extreme Rumble, costing Jay Styles the International Junior Heavyweight Championship. Jay Styles getting that rematch, Smashdown, February 12th. I don't know why I kept trying to sell it February the 11th. I kept thinking of NXT, but Smashdown will be February 12th. I'm sorry for everybody if I ever sold that wrong. But February 12th will be Smashdown, and Jay Styles will have his rightful shot at Blackwood in a one-on-one match for the International Junior Heavyweight title. But at Beer Bash, he will be fighting GVD. What are your thoughts on GVD trying to screw Jay Styles every which way possible?
Jay Styles, I think what GVD's trying to do is I think either he's trying to get under Jay Styles' skin, trying to go back to the old school GVD, or he's just trying to become a Torrance Banks knockoff. When how I used to get under people's skin and everything, like I used to piss people off and become like this badass heel and everything, get under people's skin. But GVD, GVD is trying to just make a little noise. He's trying to become a puppy in it. He's trying to
become relevant again?
Yes. He's trying to become relevant again by making people fight him in a Russian House of Horrors match. But he's trying to become relevant, and I don't think his relevancy is working. It's like if a tree falls in the middle of a forest and nobody's around it, does it make a sound? Well, the question is, can GVD rebound from the suspension?
That is the question. He was suspended. I looked at every suspension a few days ago. GVD, Sean Ripper, and Doug Williams is all out of suspension, and they have all their matches back. We brought up one of those guys, Sean Ripper. I don't know if you guys have had a personal history or not. I don't think you guys have anything against each other. So what are your thoughts on the face-breaking kid, Sean Ripper, now that he's back and after his terrific match at the Extreme Rumble versus Chris Zero, and now that he's going one-on-one with Samuel Taylor at Beer Bash?
Face-breaking kid and myself, there's no hatred there. It's nothing but, in my opinion, it's nothing but respect between me and the FPK, the Face Break Kid. He's a legend. He's a legend just as well as Chris Zero and myself. Like, he's been here since day one, just like most of us have been. So there's no disrespect between me and Face Break Kid at all. No disrespect. Nothing but positivity between me and him.
And me and Sean Ripper, we're good friends, just like me and you are good friends. Me and Sean Ripper, we tore the house down at Extreme Rumble, and he knows, as well as everybody else knows, that if he beats Samuel Taylor at Beer Bash, he will go on to Dark Mania to fight for the Elite World Heavyweight title. If I lose at Beer Bash, I'm getting my damn rematch at Dark Mania. So, what would your thoughts be if it was Torrance versus Zero versus Ripper, or Ripper versus Zero, or Ripper versus Banks?
Either way, it'd be one of my dream matches that I would have wanted, because I never got to face Ripper one-on-one. Every time I walked into the ring with Ripper, there was always Tyler H there, or Messiah's there, or He-Man, or Chris Knox, or Jay Styles, or Jeffrey Romans, whoever was there, they were there. It was always, Ripper was there, yes he was, but there was never a one-on-one match between me and Ripper. There's never been a DRW one-on-one match, Banks versus Ripper. If it was Banks versus Ripper, or Banks versus Zero versus Ripper, I think it could sell out. I think the arena would be completely sold out. The arena's going to be a sellout regardless, but if at Dark Mania the match does happen, it's going to be one of those matches that people will talk about the next day or the next month, or it could be a match of the year candidate.
April 12th, 2015 will be Dark Mania 2 in Santa Carla, California. Believe the hype. So far we have sold 77,810 tickets. Hopefully we sell that stadium out. I would love to be there in front of at least 80,000 people. Get your tickets now. There's only about 3,000 tickets left. You got until April 12th to get them. Beer Bash is March 1st at the Rita Arena in College Station, Texas. Perdition Cell, February 15th and February 12th. Thursday Night Smashdown returns. Also, the next date that Smashdown will be returning is March 26th, emanating live from the Tokyo Dome at the Karigan Hall in Tokyo, Japan. I hope we have a fantastic show there. I hope we have a fantastic show at the O2 Arena in London this Thursday. I hope it's just going to be epic all around. Torrance, thank you for joining me on this radio show. Thank you, viewers, for tuning in. see you guys for DRW Radio 69. I hope to have a full stacked cast, and that will be the official pre-show of Smashdown and Beer Bash. Thank you for joining us. Good night. Also, I'm going to let this hit the 20-minute mark right now.